Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back again on Canon 42. Back-to-back live shows. That's never happened before. But there's always a first time on Canon 40 TV, Canon 40 TV land. But before we go any further, we've got to say hellos and welcomes. The Enforcer. How is you, Geezer? You all right?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. It's been a while, but it's good to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
back
yeah,
with the
yeah.
Cannon Fodder family. And yeah, let's get it on because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah. And the person who's just around the corner from me, Jonathan, in Cali, Colombia.
Hey, hey, Alex. Yes, I just arrived from Bogota and Cali. A lot of hot. The water is incredible for some people, but I don't like it. So, but it's okay. It's okay. I just need air.
But we've been trying to get you on because I know, again, it's not all about doing content creation. You have your work, you have your family, and you're traveling
Yeah.
a lot. But it's good to see you back on the channel,
Thank you.
Jonathan.
Thank
Really
you.
good to
Thank
see
you
you.
for the invitation. It's a pleasure to see you, and there's a pleasure again.
I mean, it's nice to
Yeah,
know
you're
that you're
more.
only 10 minutes from Highbury, Jonathan. Do you know what I mean?
All right, so what? Let's get into to some bits and pieces about Arsenal. Now, I've been critical of Arsenal, and I've tried to remind myself, Des, it's actually only 3 games. It's only 3 games, Des. But what's kind of curious to me is why is it we play Thomas Partey as an inverted right back, Des?
Can I
Why
just,
is that happening?
before I speak, can I just count to 12 and calm me down? Is that all right? um, well, Alex, we've had a few words on this, haven't we, in the group or between ourselves? And I'm sorry, but Partey is not a right back. Yeah, he hasn't got. From the 3 games that I've seen, he hasn't got the speed. He gets caught out. He's a midfielder. Play him in the midfield. Simple as. I don't understand why Arteta is doing this. I cannot fathom the reasoning. Um, we've got right backs. Yeah, all right. Tommy Asu should have never been sent off. Um, it is what it. I mean, it is what it is, and that's a really silly statement to say. But yeah, shouldn't be playing at right back. Arteta, if you're watching this show, right, listen to us 4 lads because we're speaking for the demographic. Do not play with Partey at right back, please. Play him in the midfield. Play him in the midfield with Rice and Odegaard. That would be the best, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Now I can see a little smile on Tony's face. Tony, welcome back, fella.
Hiya, how you doing, guys?
We're good. We're good.
Good.
Depending for the next hour.
Hello, Tony. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Tony, what's going on? What's going on, man?
Oh, well, trust the process, apparently. Trust the process. I mean, I absolutely hate the transfer window. It kind of gets the old green eye of envy kicking into overdrive when you see what other teams are doing and you see the business that's being transpired. At the start of the window, we'd have thought, right, okay, so we got Declan Rice in for 100 million, which we thought pricey, but he's a leader, he's a captain, future England captain even. Havertz, we weren't sure, but willing to give him a chance. And Julian Timber, who in the short time that he's played, you just thought, wow, he's a monster, great player.
Totally.
Obviously, Timber's now injured. Havertz hasn't kicked on as yet. Declan Rice is still acclimatizing to the whole thing in my eyes. And so we seem to be going through a process of reinvention. We got rid of certain players. Xhaka obviously was... It kind of looks like a good bit of business now when you think about it. The fact that we got, 20 million for him and we can't raise 4 million for any other player. It's just it's just this window is just I'm lost for words, in all honesty.
Tony, just breathe,
That
mate. Just breathe.
yeah, you know, I've kind of got to that point where
Yeah.
I have to kind of just write off transfer windows nowadays, because for a good period of time now, several years, maybe even a decade or more, I've just been let down. I just don't feel like, you know, the one marquee player is enough. You know, every year we get one marquee player and you're like, oh, you get excited. But then what have you done elsewhere? And how long is it taken to, I mean, you know, we were all saying like for the last 3 years that, you know, oh, but Arteta needed to get rid of the deadwood. Well, now he's got rid of the deadwood. He can't sell a player for love nor money.
Tom, well, one second, back it up a little bit. Is Kieran Tierney Deadwood?
Not at all.
So why lowing him out? Why?
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
We're shorting the position as well, Alex. That's the problem. We're shorting. See, this is the question, guys. Sorry, Jonathan. I know you want to say something in a minute, but can I just quickly come in on this one, right? Tony, a lot of what you said is absolutely spot on, right? This transfer window, the beginning of it, I was quite excited. Not so much about Havertz, but I was excited about Rice and Timber, yeah? But as the window's gone on, yes, we've got rid of a lot of players. Some players we didn't even need to get rid of, but we have. So, by the by, quickly, it's been an average window again now because we haven't done anything in the later part of the window to make it any better. Yeah. But the problem we've got, Alex, right, is have we made ourselves weak? I mean, Timber, a great player, he can't help damaging his ACL, and I know he's going to be out for most of the season. But have we actually made ourselves weaker? That's what I'm wondering. This season,
Jonathan.
No, I love I love how Arteta has been doing this with the fans the last 3 years. A lot of fans doesn't understand. A lot of people in the world football doesn't understand too much about how Arteta thinks. I can find in the strategy something different or something similar always. That the decision that Arteta takes normally we can find that there is a human resources component. Why? Something that we cannot see because it's inside of the room. You know, something that maybe you can feel like maybe that player and Arteta are not good engaged, or maybe that player is not creating a good atmosphere. That is the first point that I always see in the Arteta decisions. The second point that I always see in the Arteta decision is how we cannot understand why he doing that, how we the fans and the people outside of the team and outside the room cannot understand what is he doing. And this has been happening the last 3 years multiple times with multiple decisions. And the third point that I can find is that always he shows something in the field, and finally, he's right for me. Finally, he's right. Look, Aubas, look, Ozil, look, everything that we have been speaking or talking about Arteta in the last year. So, regarding party playing as our RB, I think what Arteta wants to do, and he has shown it, I don't think we know, is a right back or left back who is able to play as a midfielder in some moments of the game. Everybody knows that. And if Partey accepted that challenge and Arteta knows that the challenge may work, I trust that because in the past I have been pushing why is doing this, why is doing this, and finally, always he shows that got right. Now there is a problem. There is no patience in this moment. It's the third year, 3.5 year, I think. So there is no patience. In 3.5 year, only one FA Cup and two Community Shield. Well, okay, one second position. That is a lot of improvement. So I think this year the fans has less patience with him. But I think as always he has been showing us he will be right, and I hope that because we need it. But me neither. I cannot understand why Party is doing a position that he is not his position. However, I understand uh, timber timber problem. Imagine timber is like a luxury that we didn't know we needed. You
Mm.
know, timber
Um,
was a, a luxury. I don't know who is him. Now we think, or I think, oh my God, we need him. We really need him. Uh, Now we don't have it, so we need cover that position. And I think Partey has been choosing for that. I think Partey can do it right, but I think Partey can do it better in the midfielder. So I hope Arteta be right again, and we don't. Difficult to understand that.
Tony, I can see in your face you have a look of disgust.
Tell it, Tony. Get it out there,
Yeah,
Tony.
I
Get it
mean,
out.
look, I admire you for having a trust in Arteta, and I'm like yourself. I do kind of just go, look, let it be, let it be. Do what you got to do,
Yeah,
man. I mean, I can't complain about a second place and an FA Cup in 3 years. That's most managers who have got multiple trophies from multiple other teams haven't won that or haven't done that. So, people say like, oh, but he's, what is he, what experience does he bring? Well, did he need experience if he's been with Pep Guardiola for all those years? I'm sure they were saying that about Pep when he moved up from the youth team at Barcelona. But yeah, I mean, look, the worrying thing for me is when you make movements in the transfer market and you leave holes in your squad. So, I had a particular issue in February of this year when we didn't buy a striker. We had no Gabriel Jesus, and Eddie Nketiah was playing as the only striker, known striker, not a fill-in striker, proper striker at the club. And he was forced to have to do it through injury.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
he played some points in February with an injury, but there was nobody else. Yeah. And we hear stories about, towards the end of the season, Saka was playing with a little knock. And you're like, really? You was prepared to play him with a knock?
Tony was also gassed. He was gassed as
Right,
well.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you kind of go, well, look, Thomas Partey hasn't got the greatest of injury records. So where's your backups, fella? Now, yeah, you could say Ben White, able backup, but then he's also covering the right side of midfield. So heavens forbid if Saliba goes down and Thomas gets an injury, we then don't have a right back and a right centre back.
But
But surely, Tony, you're talking about if, buts, or maybes. We haven't arrived.
We have to listen.
Alex, it could come to it could come to that.
Look, what you have to consider is this is a squad game. This is not an 11-a-side game that is reliant on 11 players. The great Manchester City, that team that we all aspire to, none of their players played over 2,000 minutes last
I
season.
know. Yeah.
And how many of our players were playing 3,500 minutes?
Yeah.
And now, that was in the Europa League. Now we've got the Champions League. So we should have a bigger squad. Not a reduced squad.
The thing you've got to look at as well, guys, right? If you look at the back four at the moment, right? If we just take the back four for a moment, this is how he should be playing it, okay? Right? You've got Ben White right back, should right back right now, okay? He's been playing him in the centre, but he needs to play him at right back, okay? You've got Saliba. Why Gabriel Magalhaes isn't played? Someone tell me because I haven't worked it out yet. But
Maybe Jonathan will tell us.
Kivior, right? Kivior is a good little player, But do we talk about Kibior in the same way as we talk about Gabriel Magalhaes? No, we don't. If you notice last season, yes, Gabriel has the odd mistake. You would agree, lads? Yeah, he has the odd mistake in
Yep.
him. Yeah, but they were the strongest pair until Saliba hurt his back. They were the strongest pair we had in the central, you know. And I think to begin the season, we need to go back to a strong team and stop playing with these. Well, let's try these out and try and catch people out with this and try. No, that's how we beat them last season. We absolutely we moved the ball quickly. We played to our strengths games. This season, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. I mean, Zinchenko's only just suddenly come back at left back, but then Zinchenko is great going forward. He's not the best defender. Tierney's a better defender than Zinchenko. Don't get me wrong, I rate Zinchenko, but Tierney's a better defender. You know? I mean, but we all know that Arteta loves this inverted player. Which, fair enough, that's what he wants to do. You see, what I think part of the problem is as well here, guys, you mentioned it, right? In the last half years, we've had one FA Cup and two Charity Shields. Okay? Now, I'm not Arteta out, don't get me wrong, but I've heard people say this. I've heard people say this to me, right? The honeymoon period is over. Okay, if he doesn't win something this season, he's got to go. But to win something, you've got to try first, haven't you? You know, you can't just turn up and go, right, I'm going to win this. You know what I mean? So it's like how much time I'm asking you guys, because how much time do you give him? Because end of the day, I want him to succeed, but he's in a way, in his decisions, he's kind of backed himself into a corner.
See, the thing is, yeah.
You know what is funny? Let's go, Tony. Let's go, please. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure it all falls on Mikel Arteta.
I'd agree. The player have to be partly to blame.
You know, because we were all going, well, we spent 200 million in a week and a half or whatever it was at the start of the transfer window, and now we look and we think to ourselves, we haven't even spent really. We bought 3 players. Other teams have bought 8 or 9 players.
Well,
Some
Chelsea
of the
bought 2 more
lowest
teams,
teams in the league have bought 6 and 7 players. Luton Towns, Nottingham Forests have bought 8 or 9 players, and we've got 3, and we're getting rid of 6. Do the math. It can't work.
You're right.
3 in, 6 out doesn't work. Oh, 4 in. I forget David Raya.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not working. It's not working. You know, and I kind of have. I'm getting deja vu because I had this feeling last year that we were getting rid of numbers and we didn't have enough coming back in through the door. And my point was like, hang on a second, have we actually got enough to last the whole season? And it ended up being, I didn't think we had the cover because we ended up playing the same 11 in pretty much every game.
Yeah,
we did. You didn't even have to guess, did you? You know.
but I think last season we were asking for a rotation, and now he's kind of rotating. The transfer window's happening concurrently with the Premier League matches, and like you say, Tony, we've gotten rid of more players, but we've got less in, so we're going to be short someplace, some way, somehow. And you spoke about the striker position. Are you annoyed that we got rid of Balogun, or would you have rather kept Balogun, Tony?
I don't think we have. You can't have a squad with 2 known strikers. 2 strikers is not enough.
I would have kept Balogun and gone for Kane. I know it might upset some Arsenal fans, but I actually kept Balogun and gone for Kane.
No. Balogun doesn't have blood. Doesn't have blood. Just thinking this. Balogun didn't choose to fight for a place in his national team. And you know that more than me. You know, Balogun Balogun has to do something inside that we don't know what happened there, and in that way, I don't want someone in my team that doesn't want to put blood in his shirt. And I feel because no one from us knows what happened, but I feel that the matter with Balogun was different, was a human resources problem, was a problem inside, and that's it. You cannot keep players that doesn't want to play with you, or worse, that are requesting things that have not earned it yet. He has to earn it. He has to be the third striker, and I think he didn't want it.
But Jonathan, you're
You
saying
know.
about human resources. What do you mean human resources? You mean
Ah,
there's
okay,
some
okay.
kind of
Sorry.
conflict?
It's what I do in my job. It's what I do in my job. So I am a director in human resources manager, talent consultant. What I see in this, and is something that I always see in Arteta, is that he is a really special person to see character, to see people giving not only the technical job and not only learning the tactical matters inside the field, but also the emotional things outside the field, the rational points outside the field. That's the reason why Holding today is still in the squad. That's the reason why El Neni is still in the squad, because it's people you always need in your job, in your teams, in your high performance team. This is something that in theory is called high performance team. You always need a right mix, and this right mix needs people too good in technical matters and people too good in emotional matters. People who join the people who is giving, who is accepting the space in the team. So I
But
think Arteta do that a lot, a lot.
Jonathan, also when you are a manager, you have to deal with conflict, and I get the impression that Mikel Arteta is not good at dealing with players who have a strong character. We can talk about Guendouzi, probably or Aubameyang, Özil,
But
maybe Adrian Maitland-Niles. So as well as
they
it's good
were
to have that synergy.
they were not a strong character. They were lazy. They wanted to rest every match. I remember in the series. I remember a small point in the series when they won a match, and I am for sure Arteta wanted to train more, and he wanted to give an speech. We need to enforce better, and Aubameyang, a day free, a free day, a free day. Let's go to other place. Alba was a lazy player. Sorry, is that is the truth, and maybe Arteta has some strong character like Ben White. Ben White is fighting. If you think this way, Ben White at Southgate has a broken, and that's
Oh
it.
yeah,
Ben White have a strong character. That is a strong character, but Ben White is not lazy, different with Aubameyang, and different with Wendosi. Wendosi doesn't have any kind of sense of community. Wendosi feels like wants to be the principal, and Arteta knows that is a thing. So I don't think. I don't want to get confused with strong characters and lazy people, or people that doesn't want to have a purpose in the team. So I think Arteta can handle the strong character, always that this strong character wants to feel the purpose of the team, not only for him. Is my feeling just from outside as a specialist in this, in talent consultant matter. So what I think in this point particularly, that for me is funny, is that we are talking this in the third match of the season.
but
So
but but you but do you know why, Jonathan? Because we cannot afford to lose points on again. When you look at the game against Fulham, the players looked confused. They looked fragmented. We weren't playing like a team. They looked like they weren't sure what they were supposed to be doing. That's why we're so
yeah,
looking 3 games in, and we can see that already happening. You can see he's been experimenting. You can't
that's
experiment. You need to do that for the preseason,
As I
not
say,
in the Premier League.
experiment in the preseason. Don't do
yes,
it. Not
that's true. That's
don't
true.
do it in the league.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. That is what we cannot understand. That is my second point. I told you, always we cannot understand what Arteta think, and in that point, You are right. I cannot understand because yes, the players got looks confused, and everybody, also me, because where is Gabriel Magalhaes? Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba was playing so good, so good. I don't know what happened. I hope to see it in Manchester on Sunday because I hope to see it. If we lose and Gabriel Magalhaes is not playing, it will be a big problem for Arteta. I also think that there is something with Arabia, maybe maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I can feel something inside that I don't know. But yes,
Tony,
you're right.
Tony, what are we doing with Kai Havertz?
I think we just keep integrating. I think we keep working on him. I think there's a player there. You know, I saw enough. I saw it firsthand in the preseason enough for me to say, you know what, he has good moments in games. I think he needs to focus for 90 minutes if he is on the pitch for 90 minutes. I just think he struggles with the system sometimes in games. But he's a hard-working player because I looked at his kilometers per game is right up there. You know, so he's not a lazy player. Let's not mistake this guy for someone who's not putting in an effort. He's trying, but he's obviously working to a new system. I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it. Look, we've got him, whether we like it or whether we don't. All we can do is hope he finds a way to find his feet. Look, we've had plenty of players come to Arsenal and couldn't find their feet within the first 3 or 4 weeks. Dennis Bergkamp didn't score for how long, and we were like, but I knew from the get-go, Dennis is different. Kai, I'm willing to let him have look, you maybe drop him down a peg or two and you just say, look, come in on Carabao Cup day and have a little run out there and see how you get on. Until such time, we'll bring someone else who's got a little bit more nous and knowledge of the system to play there. Because that's what it requires. Right now, for me, ESR needs to be playing.
See,
Yes.
well, Tony, again, you're not, but I just want to, things that I've noticed about him. I want him to be good. I do want him to be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm Arsenal through and through. Yeah. But I noticed against Fulham, he could have scored and he stopped. There was one cross that Saka put in, and all he had to do was stick his foot out. And he looked like he was running onto it, and then he suddenly just stopped. And I thought, well, you could have had a goal there, mate. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to, if we go off Arsenal for a second, if you go to Fulham at the weekend, they played out their skin. They were lucky with their first goal because that was definitely a scuff. He was going for a chip there and he scuffed it. But that's the luck of the game, isn't it? But after that, they were tight and they were trying and they were doing really, really well. And I think I have to say it, Fulham deserved their point. They really did. And even as 10 men, they didn't give up. We should when they went down to 10 men, we should have just shut the gates. We should have clamped it down, and we didn't. And what did we have? We had 15 minutes to go. Was it?
But why don't we learn that? Why don't we learn the lesson?
I mean, in all honesty, when you think about it, Alex, when a team goes down to 10 men, that's your opportunity. You should be pressing for a third, a fourth, and a fifth in that 15-minute period, because these are what we do on the training field. We play 10v11, 9v10, 8v7, etc., so that we can learn how to deal with overloads and underloads. Yeah, there's gonna be games where you're gonna get a player sent off, so you have to be ready. I remember the Invincibles. When Invincibles went one man down, I didn't actually think, it's all going to implode now. I kind of just got confident that, they know how to play 10v11.
Can I just expand on something there, Tony? Yeah, you're absolutely right. But what I also think it's not just down to habits. I'm going to say that it's not just down to habits. Saka's head wasn't in the right place on Saturday. I think Odegaard let him take the penalty kick just to give him a bit more confidence. I don't think Saka's head was in the game on Saturday, really. But you've got to say, Eddie Nketiah, This boy absolutely shocks me because everybody's ripping him to pieces. Yeah, he shouldn't have the Arsenal shirt on. He shouldn't have the number 14.
Why is that, Des? Why is
I
that?
don't know. The boy don't deserve it. He got us a penalty. He scored. What more can he do? What more can he do, Alex? Because if you,
I don't know.
I mean, hold on.
But
Do you know what, Arsenal fans? I'm going to go and get a stone and try and squeeze some blood out of it. Do you know what I mean?
But can I just say, the same thing you've just said about Eddie and Nketiah, I hear the same thing about Fabio Vieira. And who was the man of the match?
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Well-
Hey, don't get me on that one time. I rate Fabio Vieira. That poor lad's getting ripped to shreds as well. He doesn't deserve it.
Exactly.
He doesn't
You know,
deserve it.
he's too small, he's not big enough for this
No.
league, and blah, 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 blah.
Boy's
A
got
baller
skills.
is a baller, regardless.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, he doesn't always, he's not probably as consistent as Eddie is. Eddie is a much more consistent player
Yeah.
than Fabio. But Fabio's got qualities that clearly, to me, Arteta is seeing, which is why he always introduces him instead of Emil Smith-Rowe.
When he
That I'm
came on
not sure.
Saturday.
I'm really not sure who is the better player out of Vieira and Smith-Rowe, because 2 seasons ago Smith-Rowe smashed 10 goals in. Now I've seen Vieira score some beautiful goals, and of course he nearly had a beautiful overhead kick in the game. But you kind of go, well, you know,
Yeah, but when he came
one
on,
game
he
bring
changed
one game
didn't
bring
he?
the other. Give them each equal opportunity. But
Yeah.
Vieira is clearly higher in the pecking order than Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah,
And
but
you
when
know,
Tony, when he came on Saturday, he changed the game. He did.
yeah,
So use him as an impact player.
Yeah.
He's an
Yeah.
impact player.
Yeah,
But play him on the left rather than on
Yeah.
the right.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Emil Smith-Rowe, man. I'm just thinking.
What is happening with Emily Smith-Rowe? What is happening?
Chelsea want him, don't they?
Do
That's
you
what
understand
I
why?
heard. But whether that we're going to do a swap
Because
deal for Mudryk, apparently.
I prefer Emily Smith-Rowe. I
But
prefer
why
Emily.
is that, Jonathan?
Regarding Alex, regarding Kai, give the man some time. Give him a chance. It's new, so he needs to adapt, and he's doing it, and he's trying it. You know, did you always you see the statistics that say that he has recovered the most balls in the first 2 games of the Premier League? He's trying it. Just he needs to adapt. He give him some chance. He will. I think he will do it. I hate the players that came from Chelsea. Normally, I always hate that. You know, normally I always say if he's coming from Chelsea, is a trash. But once they have the sheer we need to support, and in the case of Kai Havertz, we need to give him a time. There is the only thing that we can do.
But Jonathan, what are we asking Kai Havertz to do? Are we asking him to find the runs, find the space? Or are we asking him to score goals? What are we asking Kai Havertz to do?
Score with his head.
He's doing an excellent no. He's doing an excellent game without the ball. For me, when I see the game, not the ball, when he's without the ball, his movings he moves in in a place that the defenders need to cover and opening space for the person who has the ball. So I think Kai Havertz is playing really intelligent, but that is a silence action, and you cannot. You prefer to see a goal, to watch a goal,
But
you know.
Dad
But I
said
think
that. But Dad said that he had an opportunity to score a goal and he didn't put it away.
he's adapting. It's the third match of the season.
But
Oh,
No, I know, but I'm
Jonathan,
getting the impression that we're
you-
experimenting.
Jonathan, just 1 second. You've been talking about your job and how you see how it works in football, okay? Yeah, I totally
yeah,
respect it. I'm not going to, But what is Kai Havertz? What is Kai Havertz's job? Score goals. Plain and simple. Score goals. That's it. Don't
I don't
sugarcoat
know.
it. Don't put any fancy things on it. Don't, get kids doing drawings.
I don't know.
He's there
He's
to
not our
score
9.
goals. He was brought in to
Eh, eh,
score goals. The
you
main
know,
reason
I don't know. I don't know the role. I don't
Mate,
understand what is his role. I
listen
don't
1
know. I
second.
don't know.
He was brought in to score goals with his head, brother. He brought in to score goals with his head. Because at Chelsea, Tony, listen to me for 1 second, right? At Chelsea, yeah, he scored 97% of the goals, right, with his head at Chelsea, yeah. We haven't had a goal scorer. We have not had a goal scorer at Arsenal who can score goals with his head for about 3 or 4 seasons. So
I did not know that.
That's one of the main reasons why he was brought in to score goals. Get those crosses in and bomb, get it in the onion bag. Do you know what I mean?
The
I
matter
did not
is
know
that you
that.
Yeah.
you think you think he's to score goals, and maybe that is not his role. We don't know what is. I don't know
He should be
personally. I
doing.
don't know.
He should be doing both.
Arteta is
What you say he's good on the
difficult to
ball, and I
understand.
understand where you're coming from, right? If he's a good enough player, he should be able to do both.
Exactly. You look at Timber quality.
Yes, yes, but it's a different role. Timber's role
Oh,
was
look at the balls that Timber just put through
was
him, man.
very understandable. When Timber arrives, we everybody knows what he was capable to do and was the role that he has to cover. But for me personally, I don't know if Rice is 8 central midfielder, box to box. I don't know. And Kai Havertz, I don't know if his role is opening the game or doing goals. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know
I
because I
mean,
don't
But
understand Arteta.
I know
I don't
everybody said
understand Arteta.
three games in, but shouldn't we do? Should we not? Sorry, Tan. Just one quick thing. Should we not be doing it from game one? Do you know what I mean? There's arguments for both
okay,
sides, isn't there?
so I want to address the point you made about Declan Rice, because to me his role is very clear. I don't
For me, no.
I don't have those. I don't have any duality about what he's been brought in to do and where he plays, because it's quite clear that Declan Rice plays CDM, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when
On Partey.
when the inverted left back goes up the pitch, he sits almost like a centre back, or even sometimes as a resorted left back, yeah. So I don't have any issue with Declan Rice's role because I see clearly what he does. Obviously, as I said, they're still learning the role. He's still learning how the Arsenal fluidity is working.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mikel Arteta wants it to be more fluid. Yeah. And if he
Box to
could chip
box.
in with 5 or 6 goals this season, great. Because let's be honest, Thomas Partey ain't getting more than 5 or 6. He's not got there yet. But I can see where he is. Kai Havertz is clearly up top. Now, Granit Xhaka had his best season last year and scored, 6 goals? And everyone's raving. So the number return for Kai Havertz to be equal with Granit Xhaka is 6 goals. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And a good, strong defensive presence, because that's what Granit Xhaka gave us. I personally didn't think Granit Xhaka was a great going forward player, but he was a good coming back player. Yeah. And I thought Kai Havertz in that position was an upgrade. So let's just say, for argument's sake, he scores 7 or 8 goals this season. He would have eclipsed Granit Xhaka in terms of goals. Granit Xhaka also had his best year for assists. Mm-hmm. And again, 6 or 7 assists, if I'm not mistaken, guys. Anyone want to clarify that for me? I think it was 6 or 7 assists.
Tony, I think he's also 9 goals in all competitions. It wasn't just 6. It was
9. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So those are your standards then. So you need to come in and do what Granit Xhaka did. And I think with 3 games in, he's not on track to do that, but he's got a long time in which to do so.
Yeah.
And as you said, it is all competition. So, I kind of feel like, if he can find his feet in this system, which to me is very fluid, we can see how effective players like Trossard came in and immediately just gelled and it worked. And he's able to communicate and get goals and get assists. If Kai could get that click within a month from now, he will eclipse Granit Xhaka. So I'm kind of still on the fence of like, let's give him a month at least, or 2, to kind of still get in and gel and understand how the system works and how he can best profit from it and generate from it.
But Tony, do you think because he's coming with that £65 million price tag, that Arteta feels obliged that he's got to fit him in that system?
I don't consider anybody's price tag anymore.
Do you think, Alex?
A price tag me 65 million. What does it get you, Alex? It literally can get you a youngster from Real Madrid who's done nothing. Like, how much did Man United pay for Højlund?
76? I think it's something like 76.
What did he score? 9 goals?
Do you think in his contract, though, guys, do you think that Havertz, and this, I'm not knocking him, but do you think in his contract he might have a must-play clause or something? Or
nobody has that. I don't think that exists in anybody's contract.
You don't reckon?
No.
Okay.
I think I've heard this talk for years. Must play. Who has that in their contract?
Well, Mbappe would have it.
Well, who had it?
Mbappe would have it.
Mbappe.
You're telling me that if someone got Mbappe and they're going to go,
okay.
it'd be written in stone, mate.
Okay, so let's take Mbappe, £250 million worth of player, out of the scenario because he's a little bit different.
Well, I'm just giving you an example.
Just a little bit.
I'm giving you an example, mate. That's all. But you're probably right.
I mean, the thing with this must play contract, I've heard this over the years for several years. I've never had it justified I've never had it proven by anybody that such a clause has existed for any player.
So does that then, just a question, this is a question, does that then not scrap add-on things then? Because isn't add-ons part of that sort of thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but every player gets bonuses.
You've got to play so many games in the Champions League and then you can have a bit of money.
Right, no, but let's get it right. Every player has a contract, for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Then you get appearance money. Then you get bonuses for certain criteria. So if you kept your weight down to a certain amount for 95% of the season, you get another bonus. And if you were able to score 10 goals, and if we qualify for Europe next season in a particular competition, then you get another bonus. So all these bonuses are in for every player in every position.
No, I get that.
Yeah?
I get that.
And I can't say, I'm pretty certain Kai Havertz must have some kind of bonus that says if you play X number of games and you score X number of goals, your salary will go up exponentially.
So why is he a guaranteed starter then at the moment?
Because clearly Arteta was trying to make the system work. In the same way that you asked the question at the very start of the call, why is Arteta playing Thomas Partey at right back? Because he's trying to mould something that we don't understand. Nobody in the whole of Arsenal fan base can understand why Thomas Partey is playing right back and why Kai Havertz is getting minutes above other players who we feel are better. But clearly Arteta, and I said this to one of my friends at the last watch along. Listen, none of us know what goes on behind closed doors.
That's true.
And clearly the manager has an idea or something. And this was the interesting thing about the Fulham game. We went 1-0 down, and then we started peppering the goal. We had 80% possession in that game. Yeah? 80%. And I kind of just felt, we're knocking on this door. It's going to happen. We're going to score. Okay? I just felt it was just a matter of time. Now, we finished the game badly.
Yeah, we did. I'll agree.
Considering we were 11 against 10, we finished the game terribly. We conceded with 11 against 10, and we were on the back foot with 11 against 10. And so I asked the question, is that the fault of the manager? Because when you have that overload of 11 and 10, and don't forget, this is what I say, Arteta is trying to find ways to beat low blocks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So when people say, why is he playing Thomas Partey at right back? Because what he's trying to do with his inverted fullbacks is create overloads in parts of the pitch against low blocks.
He doesn't like the low block, does he? He doesn't like it.
Right? But every team has problems with low blocks. You could take Shrewsbury Town. Bring them to the Emirates, and they'll play a low block, and you will struggle if you haven't got some way to overload in areas of the pitch. And that's where I think Arteta is now trying to rework his brilliant system from last year that we were very pleased to see working, and go, I want to be even more dynamic with my overloads now. But he hasn't got it yet. So
No,
that's why my mentality is, all right, Arteta, do your tinkering. I don't understand it. And none of the fan base understand it. But when it works and we suddenly go, that light bulb moment, I'm going to
yeah,
go,
so saying it's the penny has to drop, yeah,
the penny has to drop for the players,
and for the fans.
penny has to drop for the manager. And when them two drop, hopefully it will drop for us, the fans.
Okay, cool.
But Tony, you never answered the question. So who's it down to? Is it down to the manager or the players?
Always down to the manager.
Find a way.
Always down to the manager. To me, he has the personnel to beat Fulham 5-0 on Saturday.
I think Jonathan wants to say something. He looks like he's chewing his lip.
Sorry, I did go on.
No. Look. You remember how we played last season, right? With Saliba, Gabriel, we already know the model. And I remember a lot of criticisms about always playing the same way. Now Arteta is trying to play in a different way, and there are criticisms because he's playing another way. So it's impossible to have the fan base happy. You know, we have been taking care of this team multiple years without winning anything. We have been here. I have been paying a lot of money to go to London to watch Brighton win 3-0 in the Emirates. So I know the frustration. I understand, but the other thing that I understand is that the man is a genius, and when you are a genius, it's very difficult that the people understand you at the first time. And when he's trying something, you need to understand that if he's trying something, you can trust it or not. That's it. I choose trust because I choose in this moment to to believe in that something has been happening the last season. The last season was perfect, was great, but we need a better season this. So I choose
Yeah.
trust, and I respect the people that doesn't choose that because I understand the frustration. But Arteta is a genius, and you cannot understand him at the first time. That is for sure, and that happened a lot.
The only thing I would say, Jonathan, whether you might debate whether he's a genius or not, he's got to produce those goods.
Are you on commission, Jonathan?
What's the good? We need to get
Everybody-
Premier League title. We need to win major honors.
Yes.
So-
Everybody because you are watching the result. And sorry, but
Well-
they are not watching the result. They are watching the process, and that is something that happened in all the jobs. You don't say, "Hey, you say my goal is to sell that amount of things, sell this merchandise, sell this thing," but you cannot go over that. You need to go over the process in order to sell that, so he's doing over the process, and everybody who is around him always say that he's a genius. Rice just came and at the third week says like this man is incredible. Odegaard say the same, Saka say the same, the people who is around Arteta say the same. I don't know Arteta. I am only saying this because the people who is around him say that. Even Wenger used to say that. Wenger used to say he is a genius many years ago, before he trained with Pep. So I only say this, Alex, because it's what the people who surround or who is around Arteta mentions. That is the people that you need to listen, not me. I am only watching the results, not the process. So
Des, you want to say something before we go into the live
No,
chat?
no, please go into the live chat. I think Jonathan.
Right, let's
Oh,
go
well,
to the live
one
chat
quick
then.
thing.
So-
I just want us to win.
All right,
It's
I'm ready.
simplistic, but I just want us to win. That's it. And I don't care how we do it. And I don't care how
For sure.
we do it.
Exactly.
Me too.
Exactly.
Me too. Yes.
Yeah, win horrible. It's a win's a win, isn't it?
We agree.
Anyway, Glenn, hit the like button, people, and then he goes on to say, "That's there's the enforcer, Jonathan and Tony, and the Senor to SP. I think it's Jonathan. Is that one of your followers?
From Colombia.
The Senor-
And Valentin.
Yeah.
Valentin
Okay.
too.
Okay. And hey, Jonathan, but even with a Timber in the team, Thomas Partey was playing at right back. And in the last game of the season, Jonathan.
Because that was the plan B. Partey was the plan B. The plan A, the name of the plan B A was Caicedo. Just remember this: a right back who can do a midfield job. That was the plan A. Caicedo failure. Okay, let's
Hmm.
think who can do this. Timber. Okay, while Timber came, I need another one. So Partey. So Partey was the plan B. Timber was the plan A, but Timber broke his knee. So now
Yeah.
Partey is the plan A. So that's the reason why it started at the end of the last season, because that was the plan. We don't know the plan. We don't know even the plan, but we can see the trends. I,
Tony, what are we to do with Trossard?
Just keep playing him. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I have to say. I'm encouraged by the earliness of his changes against Fulham, because he made a change at halftime, and then I think it was 65 minutes the next two came, and I was like, you know what? There were times in previous seasons where we'd have been waited to 18 minutes for that change.
Yeah, we used to hate that. Oh, yeah.
And that was terrible to me. That was, you know, I've got a friend Bertram who always talks about Arteta's in-game management, and to see that he was able to make a change at halftime, which immediately sprang a difference in the way we were playing, tells me that I think he's learning a little bit. And I just hope he can see what he did in that game and go, you know what? If it ain't working at halftime, change it.
He's very stubborn, though, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah, well said.
He's very
I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Hold your horses, gentlemen. One good game, I'd rather wait and see on Vieira. Well, he had a good game.
Oh, then we're mad.
On the left. 60 million for a header. Kai must really show more enthusiasm on the pitch. He looked very lazy when he runs, not a presser, not a huge tracker to follow the defence. Des.
We've said it all, so haven't we? There's no more. There's no more.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, there's no more. In fact, Alex, can I throw it back at you? Is there anything you want to get off your chest? To be honest, we've said it all.
Yeah. The only thing I've seen this week that there's been some comparisons, wrongly or rightly, with Kai Havertz and Mesut Ozil, and I thought, well, that's a little bit unfair.
You make up your own mind on these players, can't you? I mean, we're talking about it because that's what we're here for. But we've all got well, some of us agree, some of us don't agree. That's what it's all about. But said it all already. To be honest,
give them man a chance. Give them a
chance. Give them a chance.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing about it anyway because the window closes in 5 hours.
In 5 hours time, just under 5 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Gary says hello,
Gary.
panel, and chat room.
By the way.
Hey.
And there's your brother. It says, give me something that stops me from scratching the hair out of my head, fellas. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
I'll give you something.
T-gel. T-gel.
We are the subcampeones.
Chelsea bought 31 players in 3 transfer windows and spent a combined sum of £1.01 billion, and still.
So you're not reading that off the screen, are you?
Just a fact. Just a fact.
It's just a fact.
Fact is fact. Like, fact is fact.
Another fact. We are the Premier League subcampeones. That's it.
Totally. Oh dear. His name is Fabio. The rest is all rumours that comes with the PR Kool-Aid. And then Gary DWTT says asking an old dog, Thomas Partey, to do new tricks at right back is asking for an old dog with a limp.
I agree with you, Gary.
Yes, it's a good metaphor. It's a good metaphor.
Can I just actually say something in defence of Thomas Partey? It's not very often he has to sprint full out, but when he does, and when he has, he's actually quite fast.
Thanks for coming, Tony.
But I'd just rather him but sprint from the midfield, not from the
Yeah,
right back position.
Exactly, Tony.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Them little short dashes that you do in midfield, fair enough. You know?
will Gabriel get to play with Saliba, or are we still talking tactical decisions? Jonathan.
I don't know. I
Are
cannot
we,
understand why Gabriel is not playing. For me, I know he has some mistakes and a lot of criticisms from the fan base. He's
I
toxic
love
and
him.
whatever. But Gabriel was playing very good with Saliba. It was a good couple. I
exactly.
cannot understand what is happening. But as I mentioned, we cannot understand the genius. So I don't understand what, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg used to
Jonathan,
do,
I've just
or what is doing the owner of X.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
are you
Yes.
getting paid
Yes.
a large amount of money every time you call out Arteta?
No. The truth is that I have, as I mentioned, I work with
No, I get it. I get it. I
as a
get it. I
talent
know what you're
consultant.
doing. It's
So
fine.
I have seen that a lot of time. For example, my boss, hey boss, if you
Can
are
you
watching me,
have
my
10%
boss,
of whatever?
Sorry,
I
Can
man.
cannot
we have 10%
understand
of whatever
him.
you're getting?
I cannot understand his decisions, but sometimes I understand the decision like 6 months later, and I say,
No, I get it.
oh.
I get it, my friend. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. The genius touting people you hear work for the club. Jonathan works for the club.
We just found that out.
But you defend what you don't know. Yes, I'm genuinely not understanding, says
So
Colin.
that would be, let me
That's the
deal
point.
with that one. So when people
Go on,
say you
Tony.
defend what you don't know, those same people were like, Wenger who?
Yeah, yeah. Listen,
But even Ian Wright said that as well, didn't he? Wenger who? Yeah. One thing I decided on Kai Havertz just came on at the 75th minute. All right, okay. And I recognise the person.
That is a
1-1 in
point.
Arsenal. Was a
Smith-Rowe.
follow.
Smith-Rowe. That is Smith-Rowe. That is
Smith-Rowe
my
will.
my main concern. What is happening with him? We know, everybody knows that he's a good player and someone who loves the club, and someone who has a lot. What is happening with Smith-Rowe? I cannot.
Tony.
I have got no intel, I'm afraid, Alex. I know Apollo, who asked the question, has a links in at the club. If he says that Smith-Rowe will play, then I'm guessing that he's got no knowledge that Smith-Rowe's going nowhere in this transfer window. I want to see him succeed at Arsenal. He's a Haaland kid at the end of the
one
day.
of our
So
boys, isn't he, Tony?
One of
exactly.
our own.
But let's not get it twisted. If somebody wants to pay 50 million and come and buy him, take the money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's not
yeah.
get it twisted. Sorry, Alex. Let's not get it twisted because there's been rumours about Gabriel Magalhaes going as well. If someone came in with 150 million, 175 million, he'd be gone. He'd be gone.
Yeah.
But that's on the premise that we get a replacement, like
No,
Tony said at the
yeah,
start.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be selling with
But
players and then we only get like a few
if it
in.
had happened,
Doesn't make any sense.
when the rumour started, say two and a half weeks ago, if someone had come in with 150, 175 million, as much as we love the lad, the boy would be gone. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what, guys? We've come to an end on this one. It's been a long old 2 hours for me at least, back-to-back live shows. But Tony, always good to see you back on the channel. And we're hoping we're going to see you on Monday, actually, on the collaboration.
Okay.
The Back Five podcast.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's nice
Cheers,
one.
mate.
Nice
Always
one.
good
Nice
to be
one.
on with these lads
Yeah.
as well because it's very healthy debate. I'm going to go and take some tablets in a minute. You know, but no, I love being on with these guys because they make me think in a different way. It's not always one chat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. And Jonathan, thank you so very much for joining us again, man.
No, thank you for the invitation. I love this as always, and it's a pleasure to know you, Tony. It's a pleasure to see you again, Des.
Thank you, mate.
And Alex, just remember, I am a positoxi. Positoxi in Spanish is like, I don't know if in English is the same. Positivismo, positoxi.
Positivity.
Is the only thing what I can do for the club. Support, even when I
Yeah.
know that we are going to got a big.
Arteta will be DMing you after the show. Don't worry.
Yeah, get your bank details ready.
Oh my
So
god.
that's it, people. I will not be live tomorrow, but my brother will be doing a watch long on Sunday for the game. The game, the old
Oh my
enemy, Man
god.
United. It's a 4:30 kickoff time, at least over here in the UK. I think Tony, you guys doing a what? Are you doing a watch
Yes,
long,
we
Tony?
will. Yeah.
What are you
Okay,
predicting,
all right.
Tony? What are
So,
you predicting?
oh, there's
It's weird. It's weird. Do you know what's really weird? I'm so off this transfer window. I don't know what Man United starting 11 looks like.
Bless you.
I don't. It's worrying because all I know is they've got a bunch of players, and I'm like, who the hell have they got?
Tony, you can get
And
little
this
things.
applies to a lot of teams because I literally I'm not aware of who's done what business. And so there are teams out there like Brighton and Newcastle and obviously Chelsea, we know what they've done. Liverpool, all what have they brought in? Are they now all in a position to challenge the second place and maybe even the first place? I just don't know.
But you're talking about Man United. What's our starting 11 going to be, Tony?
You know what?
Give
The
me
funny
give
thing
me a
is, yeah,
result.
we've had a week off. Yeah. If they clicked in training, I think we can beat Man United because I've seen Man United this season, and they're not great.
Well, they were lucky last week.
But
They
you
were
know
lucky
what,
last week, Tony.
There you go. They're not great.
They have the referees.
Tony?
That's a fact.
Hey,
That's a fact.
not only is he in with Arteta, he's controversial.
That's a fact. That is not controversial. That is a fact. Everybody knows that Manchester United got the referees. That's that
anyway,
every
let's
season.
end this.
Hey, just a point. Just a point. Hey, Tony, we still have Cedric Suarez. Ooh. Just, for the right back, no, you were fighting about the right back. And
What
Pepe,
have you done?
and Pepe is incredible. I don't
We
know
didn't,
why Pepe
we didn't
is.
get to talk about them. We didn't get to talk
Pepe's
about them.
standing and sticking his
Oh
heels in, Jonathan.
You know
He's
what,
incredible.
Jonathan? You make a great point because what the hell are the club doing about these players now? If everybody in the world can sell a player in Saudi Arabia, why can't we?
Pepe is perfect
Am
for Arabia.
I wrong? But
That's
does anybody else round here think Pepe in Saudi Arabia would be an absolute genius?
it would, but
Perfect.
we have got the slight hope as well. Just sorry, Alex, I know we want to close up, but we've got the slight hope as well because the Saudi Arabian transfer window is open for another 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so he might still go yet, Tony.
Could, yeah.
But I don't understand how it hasn't already happened because to
He's
me,
dug his heels in, mate. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
you don't want to go
Yeah.
to Saudi Arabia, really?
No, they've offered him
Jordan
mega money.
Jordan
But Tony-
Henderson is in Saudi Arabia. Remember that.
But Tony, you say about that, in a monetary universe, you got to think about the guy's got his family here as well, and they're settled here.
Tell him, Alex. Tell
Settled.
him.
I'm just saying. These are, we talk about commodities, these players, but the human element, you got to think. Well, the guy's probably thinking, well, I'm not moving because we're settled here in London. I'm just saying.
Hang on. I can triple my wages and make my family even more comfortable and have generational wealth for decades and centuries to come.
And I don't have future in the Premier League.
Seriously.
That's the more important.
Seriously.
Sorry, Pepe and Suarez, but
But Tony, like I said to you in the WhatsApp group, who are doing these dealings? Why have we sold these players on a knockdown prices, but we can't get the likes of like a Holding Out or actually we've got Holding Out.
there is a big
Pepe.
gap. There is a big
What's
improvement
going on?
gap. There is a big improvement gap in that point in the business taking. I don't know, taking rid off of the wood is what you say? Is the phrase taking the wood? I don't remember the phrase, but we have a big gap to improve in that point.
Yeah, yeah, guys, we've got to finish. We've got to finish. We've gone over an hour already, and I'm tired. But anyway, guys, so there will be two watch-alongs and one on Arsenal. But we'll make sure that we kind of put that link out in cyberspace. But also, we'll be doing our own watch-along on Sunday against the old enemy, Man United.
Come
Oh
on,
my
you
goodness.
Gunners!
Come on,
Come
you
on, you
Gunners.
Gunners!
Anyway,
Please,
guys,
please, please, we need that.
fellas,
We need that. Please, 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 we need that.
thank you, fellas. Thank you for joining me over here on this channel. This channel, Canon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over